ahead of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Chinese President Xi Jinping's second informal summit in the coastal town of Mamallapuram. The Kashmir cloud hangs over the meeting. This after China said it is following developments in Kashmir closely. China said President Xi is closely monitoring the situation in Kashmir, adding that it will back Pakistan on the issues linked to its core interest. China also said that the Kashmir issue should be resolved based on the United Nations Charter, relevant UNSC resolutions and bilateral agreement. New Delhi also reacted strongly to the Chinese president's statement, saying India's position has been consistent and clear that Jammu and Kashmir is an integral part of India. The Ministry of External Affairs stated China is well aware of India's position that other countries should not comment on India's internal matters. Geeta Mohan joins me with more details on this story. Geeta, now this is possibly the biggest sticking issue as far as India-China relations are concerned right now. Will this be a platform where both the President and the Prime Minister possibly could try and address?
Well, this is an issue that is certainly going to come up in the informal talks that are going to take place between the two leaders. But there is also a delegation level meeting where Yang Chiche, Wang Yi, Dr. Jaishankar and Ajit Doval, the National Security Advisor, would be present. So apart from all the other contentious issues and areas where we want to see more growth and expansion, this is an area that will come up because there are different positions that China has been taking time and again on the issue of Kashmir. After Article 370, we saw very strong statements come in from the Chinese envoy and Beijing itself on the issue of Ladakh. Then they went ahead and supported Pakistan on at some front. Then the issue came up 2 days ago where the Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson said that Kashmir is a bilateral issue and will have to be resolved bilaterally between the two countries. And now in the joint statement between Pakistan and China, China says it's not just a problem that they're looking at and monitoring very closely, that India and Pakistan will have to look at the UN Charter and have brought the UN resolutions back on the table. So it is a very huge development, and India certainly is concerned about the fact that China is making or commenting on the issue, and this certainly will come up when the two leaders meet. India again will explain its stand, and China will have to explain itself as to what why is there a shift in stance every now and again.
Geeta, stay on with me. In fact, just a day ahead of Chinese President Xi Jinping's informal meeting with Prime Minister Modi, Congress has challenged the government to take on China. Congress leader Manish Tiwari dared the Prime Minister to raise Aksai Chin with the Chinese President. Manish Tiwari tweeted asking why is India silent on Chinese rights abuse in Hong Kong, Xinjiang and Tibet, apart from its hegemony in South China Sea. This after China released a statement saying its President Xi Jinping is keeping an eye on the situation in Kashmir. Chinese President Xi Jinping met Pakistan Prime Minister in Beijing, where Xi said that he's paying a close attention to the Kashmir issue.
China respects strength, and this government has been extremely namby-pamby in dealing with China. So when Xi Jinping, before coming to New Delhi or to Mahabalipuram, very clearly says that, well, he's watching Kashmir very carefully, and there's no response from India, it sends out a signal that you are on a weak footing. When Xi Jinping said that he's watching Kashmir, why didn't the Prime Minister say that we are watching Hong Kong and how the pro-democracy protests are being muzzled very carefully? Why didn't the Prime Minister say that we are watching the human rights violations, the abuses taking place in Xinjiang? Why doesn't the Prime Minister say that we are watching the continued oppression in Tibet? Why doesn't the Prime Minister say that we are watching what's happening in the South China Sea, which has alarmed China's neighbors also? So therefore, the impression which one gathered even in Wuhan earlier and the impression which is going out today is that China is coming into this meeting in a very aggressive and a belligerent mode, and India, as usual, which has been the pattern over the last 5 years, seems to be absolutely on the defensive.
Geeta, not only what the Chinese president has said, in fact, has got the alarm bells ringing in New Delhi, but also the opposition has got now a handle, in fact, to ask the government about what their stand on this entire issue is. And we have seen right from the time Article 370 was, in fact, abrogated, Chinese have been standing firmly with Pakistan. There has to be a single strong message that needs to be sent out, isn't it?
Well, Ankit, there are a few points over here. One, the Ministry of External Affairs or Indian government has not reacted or responded to Manish Tiwari's comments. Having said that, if you ask me, why is it that the Indian government has not really raised the issue of Hong Kong or Xinjiang when it comes to as a retaliatory action to what they're saying on Kashmir, is because if India starts commenting on, one, they do not want to rile China. This is an issue that needs to be contained and China needs to understand. Secondly, if India starts raising the issue of Hong Kong and Xinjiang with the issue of Kashmir, then there is an admission of guilt over there. Because we know how the international community reacts to Hong Kong and to what is happening in Xinjiang, there can be no comparison. So if India starts saying, well, we've done this, look what you're doing in Hong Kong and in Xinjiang, then there is going to be a comparison and an admission of guilt. India is not saying that there is anything wrong happening in the state of Jammu and Kashmir or the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir now.
Yes.
What India is trying to say is that those removal of those provisions were needed, were required, and hence there can be no comparison. Separately, MEA has always said that there needs to be a resolution in a peaceful manner when it comes to any problem that any country faces.
Geeta, stay on with me. In fact, Aksai Chin has been an issue which China is extremely touchy about. Union Home Minister Amit Shah was very categorical in the parliament during a debate on abrogation of Article 370 that Aksai Chin and POK, Pakistan Occupied Kashmir, are both parts of Jammu and Kashmir.
मैं ये बात रिकॉर्ड पर रखना चाहता हूं कि जब मैं सदन में जब जम्मू एंड कश्मीर राज्य बोला हूं तब पाक ऑक्यूपाई कश्मीर और अक्साई चीन दोनों इसका हिस्सा है, ये बात को और हमारे संविधान ने जम्मू कश्मीर की जो सीमाएं तय करी है और जम्मू कश्मीर के संविधान ने जम्मू कश्मीर की जो सीमाएं तय की है उसके अंदर पाक ऑक्यूपाई कश्मीर और अक्साई चीन दोनों समाहित।
Ahead of Prime Minister Modi and Chinese President Xi Jinping's informal summit at the Mamlapuram tomorrow. Now the preparations are in full swing with elaborate security arrangements being made. Security restrictions have been put in place and media will only be allowed coverage till 5 p.m. tomorrow. School students in Chennai are also, in fact, many places were seen wearing the mask which resembled Chinese President Xi Jinping. Sources have told India Today that terror, defense, border issues, people-to-people contact, reforms of the United Nations and challenges of World Trade Organizations are high on the agenda. Both leaders will also visit 4 famous monuments including Arjuna's Penis, Krishna's Butter Ball, Panchatantra and Shore Temple. The coastal town will host the summit for 2 days, Friday and Saturday.
A day before the arrival of the Chinese President Xi Jinping, Mamlapuram has been converted into a virtual fortress. The entire town has been divided into various sectors and every sector has a large number of police personnel deployed to ensure foolproof security. So you have the Tamil Nadu police, you have the Tamil Nadu armed police, then you have the bomb data center, then you have the dog squad, the anti-terror squad, and every sector, every monument has a number of CCTV cameras deployed to ensure that every activity is caught on camera. And that's not all. Every monument and every part of a monument has been divided into various sectors, each in charge of a gazetted police officer. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the Chinese President Xi Jinping, they will walk down a specially made path at this location. But all said and done, the Wuhan spirit, which took India-China talks forward beyond the Doklam crisis, Can India and China build on it to take the relationship forward? There is a huge trade deficit. There are issues at the boundary. And then, of course, China's support to a state sponsor of terror, Pakistan. How will this relationship move forward between the two heads of state and government remains the top focus. With cameraman Madan Prasad at Mamlapuram, Gaurav Sawant for India Today.
Thanks for watching the video. For more such news and updates, please like, share and subscribe to India Today. Also check out our other great videos from our channel. We know you will love to.